What's up, St. Louis? I'm Luke.
And I'm Marissa. We are your hosts of the STL Bucket List Show.
And we just hit episode 100. Thanks for tuning in and can't wait to continue the journey with you guys.
Yay!
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on, they'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis.
What's up, St. Louis? It's your host, Luke Farrell of the STL Bucket List Show. The STL Bucket List Show is driven by Bommarito Automotive Group. Bommarito is Missouri's #1 car dealership with over 20 locations, so I guarantee that there's one in your neighborhood. Since the 1970s, Bommarito has sold over 1 million cars, and John and the entire team made us feel completely comfortable when we picked up our new vehicle recently for the family. So I can't thank the Bommarito team enough for driving this episode forward, and enjoy the show.
If you want to hear about St. Louis, tune into the Bucket List Show weekly. Hear what Marissa and Luke say. It drops every Wednesday. Got a dope new guest every single week. Buckle up for the ride. Who's it gonna be? Who's on the show today? They rep St. Louis. What to do in the loo on a late night, or maybe what to do on a date night. Yeah, Bucket List has you covered. They know what's going on. What's going on, they'll give you, hey, 18 different things to do, or 19 if you need one more to choose. Yeah, this city is a place we call home. A place we call home, yeah.
Hi, St. Louis. Thank you guys for tuning in to a very special episode. This is actually going to be episode 100 today. And my husband, Luke, and I have been going at it for, gosh, how many years now?
Well, 100 weeks consecutively, so that's almost 2 years.
2 years, yeah. So
because there's 52 weeks in a year, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, that is
you're
correct.
You're the teacher here, so.
Yes, but thank you guys for just following along with us. Episode 100 is a really big deal for us. It's a special episode today. Honestly, when this comes out, we will be parents.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cry saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm your host, Marissa Farrell.
And I am your other host, Lucas Farrell. And like Marissa was noting, that episode 100, I mean, there's not many podcasts out there that make it to this mark. So we can't thank our team over at Half Coast for producing this episode. Matt in the back on the ones and twos. Our wonderful sponsors ranging from Four Hands, the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis, and our newest driving sponsor, Bommarito Automotive Group. They just got us set up with the new family vehicle.
Family car, safe ride home from the hospital.
We finally got the SUV. We just picked it up. Got to thank John and the team over there at Bommarito. I mean, really, they made it easy. You don't buy cars that often. So when you do, you want to make sure it's like the last time you have to buy it in a while. So can't thank them enough. And before further ado, I'm going to let Marissa introduce our 100th episode in the studio today.
Yay, Rebekah Coste with STL Mom.
Yeah.
We are repping our STL Mom swag today, so check it out on the video.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay, we're so happy to just finally get to sit down and talk to you. I know we've kind of pitched this for a while and trying to get dates lined up, so thank you for making the time. I know the weather's a little
Locals Choice Award-winning mom bloggers, your group.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys won our Locals Choice Awards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys have just an amazing thing going on. I've always said, and this is just, some words of kindness, but like I've always said that the St. Louis Mom Group does the best content.
Yes,
I think it's
thank
like
you.
in best in it about just quality of like value that you're adding to people's lives, because like that's what my goal is when we're putting out content. I look at the content, I'm like, who does this serve? Is this for me, or is this for people that are following? And I think that's why you guys have grown to over 20,000 followers now, which that's been a lot of growth.
It is. It's been really exciting. We've worked really hard to make it organic, to really try to get our target audience, moms, and so.
So STL Mom, guys, is it STL Mom or Moms? Should I say plural?
St. Louis Mom.
Mom. St.
Yeah.
Louis Mom. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I say no?
No, you're good.
So they connect community to families and motherhood and give resources and events. And so that's what you guys do. But I didn't know if you wanted to add on to anything else about like what your mission was as a group and just really why STL Mom is so important to you. St. Louis Mom is important.
Sure. Well, we are a local parenting resource. That's what I always say. You know, we want to connect moms with resources that are going to make motherhood easier, but also encourage you in motherhood. Motherhood can be, it's wonderful, but it can also be lonely and difficult. And so my hope and my heart for St. Louis Mom is that every mom who comes to our platform would be encouraged in some way, you know, that she found something to do to get out of the house with a crabby toddler, or, you know, she's struggling with a kid and, you know, she needs to find a good mental health therapist. And so, you know, that's why we're here. We're here to help moms find what they need in the click of a button.
So you started St. Louis Mom, and so tell us about what led you to even begin creating your website, your platform, and like, you know, what for you personally kind of started that journey, and then how you've gained other people to join in on the group.
Sure. Well, there's a little bit of a story. So I'm from St. Louis, originally, born and raised, and I went to Mizzou and I studied journalism and French. So I did kind of a dual journey. And I was in my mid-20s. I was working in corporate marketing in St. Louis, and I was just kind of bored. You know, I didn't have a car payment. I didn't have a mortgage. I was single. And I said, I just kind of want to do something now that I won't be able to do in like 10 years, 10, 15 years. And so I applied for a teaching English abroad program in France. And I was placed in a high school just outside of Paris. Wow. And I was about 5 months into the experience when I met the man who is now my husband. So he's from France. He's from Paris, born and raised. So we started dating, went through the whole story.
Who would have thought, like, did you think going there that, like, maybe I'll find my husband?
No, I didn't. And I was not looking. It was truly like, it was supposed to be an educational kind of personal self-growth journey, you know. Everybody's like, oh, you're gonna meet somebody, and I was like, oh no,
it's
French
Paris.
guys, no, they're so skinny and they wear pointy shoes. But he kind of blew it all out of the water. So so we got married in France, and then our first baby was born there. And I think it was, you know, we were living there, and my family is here, and we started this really lengthy green card process for him because we knew we wanted to come back to the States to be near my family. And so we were there for a year by ourselves with this baby, which was really cool because, you know, we really got to kind of bond as a family. But it was hard. It was a hard year for me. I just found myself trying to cobble together all of these resources in a foreign country, in another language. And I didn't really have any mom friends. And so I said, you know, whatever happens next, I want to help be a resource to moms wherever we go so that they don't have to work so hard to find what they need when they're tired, when they're discouraged, when they feel lonely, that they're just going to be able to go and find what they need for that particular day of motherhood. And I didn't know what that was going to look like. So we ended up back in St. Louis, and I learned about the City Mom Collective, which is our parent network. And I'd known someone who owned a site similar to St. Louis Mom. So my business partner at the time and we decided to go for it. And that was in June of 2018. Okay. So we're coming up on 6 years. Yeah. And it has been just the most wonderful, humbling. You all know what it is like to build something from kind of scratch.
And watch it flourish into what it is after all this time.
And at times fall on its face, you know? Yeah. And then you have to pick it back up.
Always.
Yeah.
But it's... so we started with my business partner and we had maybe about 15 local moms. You know, we just kind of put it out there on social media. Hey, if you want to write about being a mom in St. Louis, like where to take your kids, or, you know, something about motherhood that you want to share. Yeah. And these moms came forward and were like, yeah, we would love to do it.
Amazing.
So that's what started it. And,
How many do you have now?
Now we're
Moms.
over 55.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't realize you were
Contributors
that
or, like,
big.
people
No,
that-
so we have a 10-person executive team who kind of runs the business side of things, all the
10
behind the
people?
scenes stuff.
Wow.
So that's everything from editorial to events to social media to graphics, which
Yeah.
is not my forte
Oh,
at
yeah,
all.
No, not mine either.
Yeah, I'm like, take a picture and put some text on it. That's a graphic.
Yeah.
So, and then we have around 35, 40 contributing writers who contribute social media content. They write personal narratives. Some people who work on events. So
That's incredible.
And this is
Yeah.
like, first of all, shout out to the 55 moms that are listening right
they're
now. I hope our
amazing.
numbers
I
are going to
hope
pump
they're
up.
listening
Come on.
too. Thank you for
They're
what you
the best.
do.
Make sure you
They are the best.
subscribe. Come on, mom. No, I'm just kidding. But on a real note, to have that type of pull, and I think you can only have it when it comes to moms, because moms just work together and they're willing to contribute and they're willing to volunteer and work weekends and do all these things for the greater good of what you're building. Because a lot of times when we're doing it, it's like, we're piecing together, trying to find people that can help out with events. And it's always like there's sometimes it's a value exchange, like, oh, pay us for your time. And like sometimes we just need volunteers. And I think that that's great that you guys have built this like community of moms because you guys probably babysit each other's kids. You guys probably go to each other's birthday parties. Like, tell us about the relationships.
You're like a little family.
yes,
Tell us about the relationships you've built with these women.
For me, that's the best. That's what I love the most is that for me, I've always wanted it to feel more community and less transactional. I've really wanted it to be kind of a shared life experience that we do together. And so, I've had moms who've given me hand-me-downs and moms who've sent care packages when you've got a sick kid or you yourself are sick. We've walked through loss together. We've walked through joy together. And I think that for me is one of the most gratifying parts of the whole thing is that, motherhood is not meant to be done alone. It cannot be done alone. And that just on the days that you just can't walk forward, to know that there's somebody who can pick you up,
Yeah.
And I love also that our team is incredibly diverse in terms of the age and stage of where moms are.
Yeah.
So we have moms who are expecting on our team, like you.
Hey.
And I always love that perspective, moms who are expecting their first baby, moms who are expecting their fourth. And then we have moms who are sending children off to college or who have kids in college.
Huge range.
It's a huge range, and who are writing about what it's like to get a driver's permit or take your driver's license test. Because let me tell you, it's changed since we got our driver's license. It's quite an experience now. But I love that because I can always look to them and know, like, I feel like I'm going to be okay. Like they're 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. I think I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And I love that.
That is a good
village.
point. That is a really good point because, like you said, like you have those expecting moms growing up. It's just a whole different time to raise
It
kids now.
is. It's
We have
so
so much.
different.
It's
I mean,
information overload. I feel like
it
that
is.
we've been getting lately. It's so
Well,
much
like
information.
even like the things I tell people at work of like someone was like, oh yeah, like they used to say back in the day whenever he's like, my kid's 12 years old, and they used to say like, don't have your baby sleep in the room with you, and now it's like that's what they advise. Like it's just things change so much over a little bit of time. It's just crazy. So
There are a lot of voices coming at parents and at moms right now. And so I think it can be really hard to kind of, get wade through all of that.
So what would you say, like, that's one of the challenges that you guys face? Like, do you ever feel like there's any backlash or negativity in terms of like the positive content you're trying to put out?
Honestly, I feel like I have to speak to our community that they're just so kind and respectful. We've had a few moments where there was some mom shaming happening I'm real quick to put the kibosh on that.
Good.
And like, that is just, we
Not
have
happening.
no place for that here. We're all doing our best. And some days that looks like chicken nuggets and other days that looks like organic puree.
Yeah.
It looks different for everybody. And so I think our community has always been incredibly supportive and just knowing that every mom's story is different and journey is different.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed that I really liked what you did, like we did that video collab, I think that was Sunday night, and you're commenting back or whoever's on your team is commenting like, hey, DM us, we'll send you this directly. Like instead of just like even in our business, like we're just like, oh, hit the link in bio. You're like, hey, DM us. Like you're touching, you have 20,000 people that follow you, which, when you really think about 20,000 people, that's so many moms, you know, and it's like, how can we personally touch each of these? Hey, if you DM us, we're answering. If you need specific advice, like I'm sure that you guys are giving that specific advice. So tell us how you guys manage that. I mean, that takes those team members to be able to give that personalized touch, and everybody has to work together to do it. You know, you might be popping in there, your social manager might be hopping in there, you know.
Yeah, I would say on Instagram, you'll either be hearing from me or from Lauren Capel, our amazing social media manager. She's just got a great eye for all that she does. And even better, she's got a huge heart for moms. You know, she has a similar story. She was a transplant from San Diego, kind of became a mom here and just had to piece it all together, you know? And so she feels really motivated to help moms, you know? And you know, and whenever people message us too, it's like, okay, if you don't see something here, maybe this would work instead, you know? Like we'll put out something and people are like, but do you have something for an older kid? So, you know, we have like a tween guide, and we're really working hard on a teen guide this year, which is not 100% my realm, but you know, I tap into the moms of older kids. And, you know, so that's what we really want to do, is to provide value to moms, and that they know, like, it's not just an automated, you know, message box, but it's actually a mom on the other end who really cares and wants to help.
Or has been there at some point.
100%.
Is just giving her own experience. Because it's different for everyone. So let's talk a little bit about some of the events that you guys have been involved in or put on yourself. So like, what has been some of your favorite, and are there any that like we should be aware of that might be coming?
Yeah, well, every year we try to host a good mix of events for just moms and then for families. So we do a Mom's Day Out in the spring with kind of a bent towards new and expecting moms. So moms who are kind of in that pregnancy to first year of baby's life realm. But we did that one year, and then everybody was like, but I want to come too, and I'm not a new mom, you know? So we kind of made it bigger last year, and that was really fun.
What's that day look like? Like, what do you guys do?
Yeah, so we have vendors that are, you know, moms can shop, you know, different products, clothing, jewelry, but then we'll have pampering on site, so moms can get like mini massages.
Lovely.
And
we'll be there.
Yeah. I'm like, you said spray?
Well,
I think I might qualify.
Hair refresh.
Yeah.
And then last year we had a panel of, you know, some speakers. You know, we had a pediatrician, and we had a pelvic floor health therapist who could talk to moms, you know, kind of answer some questions. And then in the spring, the fall, we do a mom's night out. That was one of maybe my favorite events that we did this past year. And that's just fun. Again, a lot of shopping, a lot of pampering, a lot of just getting together, have some drinks, connect. And then we do our Donuts with Santa event in December, which is so much fun.
Cute.
Love that. And then we do a Hanging with Heroes event in August. That's like a back to school bash. Princesses, superheroes, lots of like, hey, let's get you ready to go back to school. Somebody was doing haircuts this year, which I thought was brilliant.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's really nice.
And something we did last year that I loved was we partnered with Siteman Cancer Center to do a Moms and Mams event. And that was like they brought their mammogram van, and, you know, some moms signed up, and then we just encourage other moms, like, hey, come hang out. And that was really neat. That was, for me, that was really cool to see, like, really a tangible way that we were engaging with our community and really encouraging, like, good health.
And health, right, exactly.
Besides just, like, a night out on the town. Like, you're like, hey, let's actually do something really fun, but also, like, encourage these checkups to happen. And also, you know, that for Siteman to be involved and, like, hey, we want to touch base with the community. We want to show up. So how do you guys... how do you do all these events? Because it's so hard to do these events, and I know a lot goes into it. So talk about that, you know, the team that helps you, but then also like, you know, crucial sponsorships and different vendors that need to be involved in that too. Well,
we have our amazing events director, Kaylin Harris. She joined us just about a year ago and dove head first in. I mean, she is the connector. She, you know, before we were doing 4 events, she's like, why not 8? You know,
and you're like, whoa,
it's a lot. That's why.
But she spearheads our larger events, and then some of our smaller events, like we're doing a winter play date series, and we do a summer meetup series. So our events coordinator, Danielle, kind of spearheads those, and those are fewer. I don't know if you would say activations. You know, fewer partners. That's typically just, hey, let's meet up at a park and have some popsicles, and And, and we really lean heavily on our event sponsors, because it's become so expensive to host events. I'm sure you all can relate to that.
Yes, it has.
And,
Sponsorships are huge.
They
Like,
are
things
huge.
would not happen without them.
Yes, for sure. And I think that, the margin can be slim if it's, in certain ways. So, they make it possible for us to even host them, you know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you get discouraged because like, a lot of times like some of the events don't work out the way you want it to, but you're like, I have to do this because people are relying on us.
Like some amount of people.
And,
Right.
and it helps build community. And that's how
Yes.
I always look at it. It's just it is a community building event, and it helps you guys continue your mission because your mission is not just to post on social media.
Exactly.
It's to bring people off social media and into the community. So I have one more question about you guys, because I know a lot of people just don't realize what goes into creating the social content, creating the stuff, because you guys are way ahead of us. You guys will reach out like 3 months in advance, and she's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing I'm thinking about doing a guide," and I'm like, "Yeah, just let me know like the day before I'm ready." I'm not gonna put it down. Like, just you let me know. We'll accept the collab, and those collabs have been amazing. For us, and I think for you guys too. You guys have gotten a lot of views on those.
Yes.
But you guys plan this stuff out, and I want to get there. We are just flying by, that week by week. Like, hey, what are we doing next week? What are we doing? And that creates mistakes in content. Sometimes that creates us jumping the gun. So I want to get some advice from you on how you guys structure and plan that stuff out.
Well, we have a calendar that we all have access to, and I really. I think that's for me been one of the hardest parts about this is that I feel like for years I was constantly behind. I was like, shoot, it's fish fry season again. Like
I don't have a new guide.
I feel like that every fish fry season, don't I? I'm like, dang, it's coming back.
I know.
I'm not ready.
And you're like, I need to write something real quick. Or,
because people ask. Or man, literally I just got an email today about the summer camp that I took my kids to last year that was almost filled. I was like, it's January 9th. Like, what is going on? So, we do have a summer camp guide that's coming out at the end of January. And I just refused to put it out before then because I'm like, it is only January.
Like, we're trying to get our bearings of like
but
the new year.
Stuff up. People are just locked in right now.
They do.
It used to be you just signed up at the door. You just showed up at the camp.
Yes. So I will say that there is some element of flying by the seat of our pants. We're like, oh, we should probably post something about that. Didn't think about that. But the big stuff, like the summer guide, the fall guide, the holiday guide, the summer camp guide, like those we really try to be intentional about planning in advance because those do require a lot of time and effort to put those together and to update those, because we update them every year. And so, we just kind of have a constant rotating editorial and social media calendar, and we'll have a pin in certain months to say, okay, this is important for this month. We got to make sure that we have content for this. And so, but I will say that's taken me a really long time to get there. I feel like that has taken me a good 2-3 years to just really get kind of that. It's almost like a 3-month before mentality, like a season before.
Sure.
So it's like we were doing Christmas stuff in like September, October, So by the time Christmas came around, I was kind of done with it,
Yeah,
because you'd already like looked up everything. You already like visualized all the events, and you're like, I don't even want to like go to the pop up now or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's
good
to know.
With my
and
family.
I think that we really want to
sure.
get there, and like we've invested in systems and softwares and different things to help us, but there's still like something will come up and I'll read an article in Sauce Magazine and I'm like, I'm going to go to that restaurant tomorrow and feature them, because if I wait and put it in our schedule, then everybody already featured them. And then it's like, but like the guides I think are crucial. I think just finding a way to actually provide value with them, because that involves like messaging people, calling people. Sometimes these websites aren't updated. So you're like, hey, are you guys still doing this year? We want to include you. Some people make it really easy. Some of the big companies, and they're like, but then you have these small ones that you want to highlight, but you're like, hey guys, like your website's not updated. It still says 2021 on there. I'm sure you guys do that all the time. Run into that. So,
well, and I will say too, there's a little bit of like the journalism side in me that's like sometimes you just have to hit the timing right. You won't be able to plan in advance, but you'll get the scoop on something that's like coming up, and like if you're the first one to hit it, like hit it out of the park, and so you just sort of, there's got to be some flexibility too, to say, okay, we can't plan everything.
You can't get it all.
Yeah, you
especially
can't get it all.
Especially in the social media world.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Your business has really shifted from blogs to social. Like your
Yes.
blogs probably still do really great, but a lot of people are just reading them on social.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Like, because I feel like even when we started and I would write a lot of the blogs, like I love that because naturally being an English teacher, like I love writing too.
Yes.
And then there was such a shift. I would even say in the last like year and a half where like the content is all video based, like people's attention spans just want to like watch a quick clip or something or read a little blurb instead of going to the
And you're
website.
a journalist too, so you're like,
I know. Well, and I've always been a fan of the written word, and so I'll take that with me to my grave.
Yeah.
You know, St. Louis mom will always have a written component to it. But I think that the landscape in which we work, and you guys have probably noticed this too, has become incredibly saturated. And that's not the case in every city, you know, but here it is. And so I think what we're learning and challenging ourselves to do is how to be strategic and how to really meet a need in our community. Because, I mean, anybody can go somewhere and stitch together some video clips, you know, and put it out online and say, here's content, right? And that's great. But for me, it comes down to the value of the content that you're delivering. Like, what do moms really want to know about this place other than just like a panning clip of a play space? You know, they want to know, like, is there a bathroom nearby? Am I going to have to leave like my toddler? Or, you know, am I going to be able to have good visibility? Or what's the parking situation like, you know? And so I've really tried to push towards like the value of our content, you know, that we're providing and some of that like insider scoop and like anticipating what moms really want to know, you know, about a place. And I also think just authenticity, you know, is really key. And I think that, you know, I mean, I feel like 9 times out of 10, if you have a powerful image with a powerful narrative, like that has the power to reach much farther than a powerful video could, you know, or a beautifully
it lives forever.
Sparkly
It
video.
lives forever too. Your blogs like will live for 6 years, 7 years.
Well, I was
8 years.
looking at them even just preparing for like today, and I was
the videos are gone in 48 hours.
Right.
There was so much more to what you guys are doing than like even I had realized, like with the blogs of just like you were saying, like pediatricians or like newborn care. And I'm like, wow, like this is stuff I've been like trying to find and read about myself, like to prepare for her coming.
And to have that on a localized thing.
It's just nice to see it and read it and just it's evergreen. Evergreen.
Evergreen.
It lives forever. And like you can go back and update those blogs. But that's what I am starting to, you know, feel about social. I'm like, I love it. I love social media, and we've built our whole entire business on it. But it's like we aren't really like the video that I just spent all that time on, it's gone. And then it's what's the next new spot? Like we just featured this new spot, 400,000 views. Okay, next week it's like, what new spot now? What new spot? What new spot? So just trying to find a way to like mix in community. And there's more things. We're still so new. I mean, we've only been doing this for 3.5, 4 years now.
But it's amazing what you've done. I mean, talk about your reach and your, I mean, it just, blows my mind.
I think your reach, and this is what I was just talking to a marketing guy, and it's like, so your potential reach is actually smaller than ours because you're just doing moms. So you're niche into mom. But like your reach of moms, when you think of 25,000, like imagine being in a conference room or at Enterprise Center and you're in the middle of the stage talking to 25,000 moms. Right. Like you're talking to them every single day.
Right.
Now we have more of a mixture. We don't really have an identity because we're like, when we post our mom content, it does great. 70% of our followers are women between the ages of 21 and 40. So I would say that that's close to what yours is. Yours is probably higher because it's moms. But then we also have college kids. We also have, so now we're like, how can we segment our content into young people that are having families, but then the 22-year-olds on our team that are in college that are looking for ways to do this. So we have a little bit, I think we have a unique advantage because we can do pretty much anything and everything. But also it's like, then when we're creating content, we're like, what do we do, guide? We're like, let's do like a places for your kids. Let's do a place to get drunk. Let's do a place to do this. Like we don't really have a, and maybe that's work that I need to do is like, or we need to do together is like, let's write out our missions. And like our mission is simple. It's to highlight the people, places, and events. So that's the podcast.
Or everyone have a role, like you were saying. Like you've got people who are focusing on their teenagers, where like you don't have a teenager, so it's like what is applicable.
Like maybe this
to
person
the
does
people on the
coffee
team.
shops, this person does this, this person does this, but we need to find a way to do what you guys are doing, and that's off camera. I would love to ask you is like, how do you get contributors? How do you do that and like stuff like that, because that would be a way to like give people the power to be like, hey, you make the content, you get credit for the content. Like it's a creative release for a lot of these people too.
Absolutely.
And it makes you feel really good to put it out, you know?
Yeah. And I know that, you know, many of our contributors have, you know, grown, you know, their own platforms, right? Through being involved with St. Louis Mom. And so, and I think, you know, I mean, we've always been incredibly niche. And I don't think we ever won't be, you know, we've played around with the idea of, you know, should we ever try to be more global and have a greater reach and target more parents instead of moms? And I just, you know, I think that there are several resources in St. Louis that cater to parents, you know, globally. And so, I mean, my heart is for moms, truly. You know,
if you want to start the dads, well, I'll go in with you.
I was thinking about
St. Louis dads.
Yeah,
that would be funny if we dropped that. Let's do a joke when this episode comes out. Let's do like the logo and St. Louis dads, and I'll just be like,
I love it.
Just for a joke, and then we'll be like,
it.
just kidding. Go back to regular programming.
This is fake.
I love it.
Moms need it. Moms need it.
Right. And not just resources for kids, but, you know, we really try to make things that are for mom, you know, remembering like she's a person and, you know, she's a woman and she's
doing it all.
So it's for her.
Yeah. And that's what probably keeps you going, because you had asked us how much time we spend. I want to know how much time you spend thinking about this. Like, if this is your baby, you think about it every day, all day, of like ways to get involved. So walk us through a little bit of that, like day to day, but also like
and is it hard? I mean, obviously I would say the answer to this is yes, but like what's the balance of that for you with actually just shutting off and being with the family?
Yeah. It's hard, I will say. I work a lot. I work well over full time, which it didn't used to be that way. But I think as we've grown and we've created more resources, and you guys know, I mean, when you have your phone, it's just harder to
it's always there.
It's always there. It's harder to disconnect. It's harder to just say, okay, I'm not going to look at an email or, you know, so I try to work in the morning before my kids wake up or a little bit when they're at school. I'm a night owl by nature, so I do a lot of work at night. But disconnecting, I will say, is really hard. One thing we do every Christmas is we take the week off from like Christmas to New Year's of just no content. And that's really hard. I will say it is remarkably hard to just say we're not going to put everything out there, because I feel like this pressure to constantly be producing and constantly, and I just feel like it's really important to model to our team and to our community, like, it's really important to take a break.
And it's like 6 days. It's
Yeah.
like barely, you know,
it's nothing at all.
But
It
you're
flies
like
by.
itching a little bit. You're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is so hard.
Yes. So I think, you know, but I really try when I'm with my family to not do it. You know, if something comes up, like, you know, I really try to, like, when I'm with my kids, when I'm momming, you know, I'm mom, and when I'm working, I'm working. And you know, and I have a really supportive partner who's just always been in my corner and cheering me on. And, you know, he's lugging boxes and he's setting up signs and, you know, he's folding merch. And I mean, he's just the best. So, and our, you know, so.
That makes all the difference. We always say that, like, if we weren't understanding of, I mean, even like me being an English teacher, like the grading that comes with that is going to be completely different than, I don't know, a science teacher, you know? And I'm like, we have to be, I don't know. I don't think they're bringing home as much as we are, but like to have a supportive partner makes all of the difference and helps you be able to keep achieving what it is that you need to do.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you guys have like absolutely crushed it. I mean,
I
know
love
you
to see your stuff. I mean,
Thank
that is
you.
so awesome. Like,
So
we
sweet.
just love to
and
watch.
now we're going to be using it
Even
more.
more.
I could see more
I
collabs in our
know.
future. So like we've kind of talked about that idea of like how our content might change, but like I feel like STL Bucket List is not Luke and Marissa. It's more of just the community. But
Right.
like, how can we tie in like
Yeah.
more things with St. Louis Mom? And I think that like collaborating with you guys would be awesome. And like
You guys
doing
need a summer writer or
Yeah.
blogger,
Yeah.
helper,
Yeah.
whatever. You know.
I just think that that's the natural progression of maybe what we're doing. It's like as we're growing and we're now moving and building a home together, like now we can get into more home and life. Like I don't know if we're not really influencers. So that's the
Right.
problem. Is like, and same with you. It's like I don't see you as an influencer. But you wouldn't?
No.
Would you call yourself
No,
that?
not at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Not
gonna
at
say because
all.
I don't see
No.
you and even me. Like you don't see me like, hey, what's up, guys? Like we're here at this
Right.
restaurant every day. Like
It's
I
not
don't want
about
to be.
us.
Exactly.
It's not
wanna
about
be.
you.
Right.
It's the greater picture, the greater purpose of the content.
But more people are hitting us up like, hey, will you do this? Like, you know, Jennifer, our good friend at Closet Codes, like, hey, I want to do this closet. And I'm like, well, I mean, come to the house, we'll do it. But like, I don't know, like, we're not like, I think of like some of the mom bloggers that are out there that are really crushing it. And I'm like, they're just like, their faces out there, like they're trusted. So we'll figure it out. We might do some, or we just might not do anything. And we might just...
Yeah, I know that battle. I think it's a delicate balance. You know, I think for us, we've always, I've always wondered about our place and all of that, you know, because we try to be visible, we try to be relevant, you know, but you know, there's part of me too that wants to protect my family and my kids' privacy. And, you know, I think that's shifted to, you know, the landscape of all of that in the past few years. So, you know, just really trying to make it like kind of a hub for all moms, that it's not the Rebekah show. That would be a really boring show.
Exactly.
Here's me doing my dishes.
And imagine how hard it is for
reality.
those people, though. For those people that do those solo channels, like, that's way more work. I feel like
a ton of work
because you have to be on every day. It's like, no, today I don't want to be on camera today.
Right, I can't.
I don't want you to see me today.
No, I really can't.
And I love the lives. I think that would be a cool collab for us to do, is do the live, and like we can like team up and like we'll do a video, because I used to watch the stories that you guys did all the time.
Yes.
And I don't know if I don't like, I'm not on the stories too much, but like, have you guys been doing those lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday takeovers. I've got you pegged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once that baby comes.
The first one I
wait.
think when I
Let's do
really
it.
found out about you guys was when Jillian Tedesco was on
Send me a
there, and I was like
calendar
just
invite.
interested because Jillian, we eat her meals, and she was on the podcast, and I was like, let me
Love
just
her
watch
stuff.
this, and I watched the whole entire day.
Yeah.
Because I was so interested, and I'm like, maybe like that's just so cool. So
I was gonna say, you put one out today.
Today
Right?
we have
I
one
saw
live
it.
Oh my
today.
gosh,
Yeah.
we'll watch it right
I
now.
saw.
We'll
Yeah.
pull it
Yeah.
up right now. But yeah, I think that's really cool, because I think that makes people feel better. And I think that's a good way to like you said, remove you guys from it and just be like, hey, I nominate you. I've been seeing that you've been doing this. Like, you're a doctor, you're a nurse, you're this, you're that. So,
What do you foresee for the future? Just, 6 years you've been at this. So now, the next 4 are going to come real fast, I feel like. 10 years.
I know.
So
I know.
talk about your centennial.
I think just, doing what we're doing, continuing to evolve with the needs of our audience, just kind of keep an eye on the trends. I really want to keep doing events, keep connecting moms off screen in real life. Hopefully a podcast.
Yeah.
In 2024.
I love that. Are you kidding? Washing dishes, listening to St. Louis moms. Come on now.
Yeah. And I think I would just kind of love to become a household name, of anybody who's moving to St. Louis or, going to become a mom or know somebody who is.
I think you are that.
Oh, I do too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
We've shared to all of our friends are
Having
pregnant
babies
too right now, and I'm like, follow this account. Look
Aw.
at them,
Yeah, no, I think you guys are, and you're just in the process, but like you don't get the chance to look back in those events. I hope that you really look and be like, wow, we're really doing cool stuff right now.
Thank
And
you.
if we
That's
can
so sweet.
collaborate or do anything to help sponsor or whatever that you guys are doing, please let us know.
Definitely. I
Because
love
we
that.
like to do, we only
sponsor stuff
only
like that.
that we believe in.
Sure.
And we
Yeah.
really
I
just love what you're
understand.
doing,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something we're doing more of this year, hopefully, is, sponsoring a little bit more in the community.
Nice.
And, we want to do some more just like focusing on nonprofits that are there to help moms. That's something I have a heart for too. So.
That's huge.
That's
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
I want to jump on board. Anything.
Yeah, girl.
Anything.
You're already
Just
repping. Come on now.
I am.
You're already advertising
I'm the
for 'em.
newest St. Louis mom.
What is your
when this
countdown?
episode?
Well, by the time this episode drops, she'll be here. But as of
boy.
today, today's the 9th.
10
we have
days.
10 days.
Oh boy. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
So this
Super
episode
exciting.
comes out the 24th. So yeah,
Okay.
5 days. So
Oh,
hopefully she's here.
She'll be here.
She'll be here by
She'll
then.
be here.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
you're
think
not
so.
girl.
So that's gonna match up because it's gonna be
It's just perfect.
yeah,
Perfect
we're
timing.
excited. So what advice would you
amazing.
give to a mom like Marissa, a new coming mom? Just some
A
few
new
tips, some
coming
quick
mom.
Oh
tips.
boy. Trust your gut.
Mhm.
I would say most of the time my gut's been right when it's come to my kids.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself, for your child.
Mm-hmm.
Stay connected with your partner. It's really important.
Yeah.
He was there before she was,
Mhm.
and he'll be there for a long time, hopefully.
You will be, yes.
So stay in tune with him. Stay plugged in. You want to be united front together in parenthood. Give yourself a lot of grace. You don't need to be a perfect mom. You just need to be mom to her. And she will love you.
Yeah.
She will love you more than anything in the world.
I'm so emotional. I'm like,
Yes.
don't cry right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
am
very good
very
advice.
emotional.
Thank you for that. I
It
think
is.
that'll
You're
help a lot of people.
welcome.
Well, it is the STL bucket list show. So I don't
gave
want
you the rundown on
Yeah.
that,
So your favorite spots now, the STL bucket list is driven by our friends over at Bomarito, and really the STL bucket list is just our favorite things to do in St. Louis. A lot of people say a bucket list is this. We kind of rebranded it and said, hey, these are just our favorite spots. These are hidden gems. So let's talk about a few things, you and your family. Like, what are some spots that you guys, what do you think are bucket list
you
spots for
probably
people?
have your list ready.
Yeah, you have, they have like 98. She's like, let me read my blog real quick.
A friend date.
Yeah, she's like, what theme do you want? That's what she said.
Well, shout out to Bomarito because that's where I got my minivan.
Hey!
So
Let's
they
go.
were amazing.
Don't talk about the minivan yet. Come on.
Yeah, you're a couple kids away from that.
Yeah.
Okay, bucket list. Well, for a girls' night out, I love Basso. I just think it's such a vibe. I feel like I'm in like Manhattan or something when I'm at Basso, and 10 years younger. I just love it over there. It's dark.
It's
and
dark.
Cool.
It's the
Yeah,
dark
It's sexy in
dark
there.
vibe.
It's sexy in there.
And
for
they have a
sure.
great
It is.
happy hour
They do have a great happy
affordable,
hour,
too, yeah.
and I think their food is great. Love Basso. For a date night, my husband and I really like Sasha's Wine Bar.
Yeah.
Owner's super nice. It's just so cozy in there. You know, you could.
Damon or the
I love
Shaw?
both. I
Yeah.
love both. The OG for us is Damon,
Yeah.
but Shaw is great in the summer. Like that patio is amazing. For a really fabulous dinner, like special occasion dinner, I love the Crossing in Clayton. I think they have an amazing French-inspired cuisine.
How's your husband feel about it?
He likes
Can
it.
you
Yeah,
tell?
he
Okay.
likes it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, he's really got to, say.
Yes.
He's the biggest critic,
good.
He's
probably.
got a lot of opinions
Yeah.
about food. But yeah, we love it over there. For my favorite spot to take my kids, it's probably Mobot. I just love the botanical garden.
Yeah.
They do an amazing job with their events. And that children's garden, you guys will have to.
I
if
know
you
we've
haven't
never
been
really
yet-
been in.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
let me tell you, when that splash pad opens, it's wonderful over there. That children's garden is amazing, and they've got the Brookings Center over there, which is indoor.
Yeah.
But I just love that.
They take such good care of the grounds there.
They
Like,
do.
I mean, we just
It's incredible.
we do the Whitaker Festival in
Yeah.
the summer, and just walking and just even the signs of like don't step on, like they just really make sure that everything is well taken care of.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
one of our faves
That's a good
for
spot
sure.
for the kids.
And probably for like a sick day, just comfy food. I love Miley. We love the just
We love
everything.
I was
over
actually
there.
thinking
You
about
just
ordering
hit
that
all
on
my
the way
faves.
home. I was thinking
I'll
about
take
ordering
it.
that tonight because I didn't
Every
leave any
time.
meat out tonight. So
Oh,
I was
no.
like, we gotta get Miley
Darn,
barn.
we have to get Miley.
Yeah.
We
love
get
it
Miley
there.
and Nudo all the time. What about your
Yes.
kids? What is their favorite spot to eat? Like, do they have like a go-to?
5-star burger, hands down.
Oh, really? In
Yeah.
Clayton, or is that
5-star? Yeah, it's in Clayton.
Yep.
I haven't had it.
It's,
And I love burgers.
I mean, I think it's one of the
I heard it's the best. I have never
best
been there
burgers
either.
in St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Oh my
And that
gosh.
happy hour for kids, I mean, you can get like fries, a slider, and a drink for like $3.50. I mean,
Oh,
it's
wow.
incredible. And
So you can get all three kids something. And
Yeah.
you're like, I'm spending $12. I'm like,
exactly.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And they can get
That's
a
hard
dollar.
to do nowadays.
Yeah,
That-
a dollar
You end up
shooter.
spending a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah,
You end up
so-
spending a lot on kids' dinners and food.
Oh,
this
yeah.
day.
Oh,
Like,
it's insane.
You're like, just eat off my plate, please.
I know. Well, let me tell you, for my family of 5 to eat at 5-star burger is less expensive than Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
Noted.
So
That
100%.
You need to put that
Go-
out. That needs to come out. That needs
Go
to be a
to
pro tip.
5-star burger.
that is a
Let's get them
bucket
to-
list tip
yeah.
right there, baby.
But that's the stuff that like I like to hear because it's like, yeah, I want to know where to go because like we go out to eat and we spend like $200 every
I
time
know.
we go out
It's
to eat.
insane. It's
and
insanity.
it's like I love supporting these restaurants, but I'm like, man, I just gotta cut back. But ever since we stopped like drinking, then it's like that saved us a lot of money.
For
Cocktails,
sure. Oh, it's
cocktails
the
saved us a lot
alcohol,
of
the
money.
wine and the cocktails.
Fine. Which I do miss. So by
We'll
the
be back.
by the time
We'll be back.
You will.
I've been
We'll
pulled
be
out
with
too.
the
so,
vengeance.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
We'll get
We're
ours on
already ready.
the next mom's night out. I'm there.
I'm there.
So,
I'm ready.
I love
I
it.
am. I'm
Yeah.
ready. So.
love it.
Well, Rebekah, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you got like, kids to go back to. So thank you so much for
Thank
coming on the STL
you.
Bucket List Show.
I was
This is
happy to
episode
have you.
100.
This is wonderful.
Our baby episode. Like, this is just a very big. I think this is gonna be one of our biggest episodes.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be
100%.
it's gonna be out there. So just let people know how to follow you, where to go to your website, and then just leave them with anything like that to get a hold of you guys.
Cool. Well, first of all, go to our website,
Mm-hmm.
www.stlewismom.com. You can find us on Instagram, stlewis_mom, and we're on Facebook as well. So I'm not sure what the handle is there. It's just
Are you
St.
guys on
Louis
TikTok
Mom.
or anything yet?
We are not on TikTok.
That's okay.
Would
You don't need to
believe it?
be.
You're not on Twitter, X.
We're not on Twitter.
Pinterest?
We are on Pinterest.
Okay.
though.
Okay. I was gonna
You're on
say.
Pinterest?
Pinterest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's too hard to do it all. You need like a social media manager for
You
every
do.
platform. Because even Facebook is like, when I'm managing somebody's Instagram, I'm not even touching their Facebook.
Yeah.
But you have to. You got to link stuff. You
I
got to
know.
do it. It's
Well, and
tough.
when Threads came out, I just kind of panicked. I was like, oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Looking to see what
Yeah,
you're.
It's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You
So,
too. Congrats,
see ya.
you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks again for tuning in to the STL Bucket List Show. This podcast is presented by Bankhead and Firth Ortho. Bankhead and Firth is family friendly and family focused right here in St. Louis. They just celebrated their 50-year anniversary and they have 5 locations that are all near you right here in St. Louis. Head over to their website at bankheadandfirthortho.com.
Today they rep St. Louis, yeah. They rep St. Louis. They rep St. Louis.